My Bitcoin story. So this is the story that started it all. This is what changed my entire life. And I share it because I hope you'll enjoy it because it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny at times and it's interesting. But I also share it because I hope you find it instructive. All right. There's going to be things in this story that you'll probably go through if you haven't already. And by me sharing what I did, how my thinking went, how my feelings went, you can resonate with that and hopefully it can help validate how you feel, validate what you're thinking, and help you get through these tough times and these strange times, the highs and the lows. And if you're wondering when you're listening to this, you're like, where are all the screw ups? How did Peter not make any mistakes? It's because I didn't make any mistakes. Not true. I'm kidding. I wish that were the case, but that's not how life works, is it? I saved those failures for a separate section that I've entitled My Failures. So that's later in the chapter. I try to keep it near the end. But if you want to go there, you can learn there. You can go there. You can learn a lot. 2011 to 2012, or you could say 2011 to 2013. Want to split a Bitcoin miner with me? It was summer 2011, and my best friend from Florida was calling me. I was living in Texas at the time, Fort Worth, with my wife. And he was really excited, and he was not one prone to heavy excitement. So I was like, okay, this is interesting just to start off. He was telling me that there was this new currency, a new form of online digital currency, not like the dollar that was issued by a government, the US government, but someone created it. And of course, I'd never heard anything like that before. I didn't even know it was possible. So I was intrigued, and he told me more, and he told me that there'd only be so many ever created. And I was asking, well, who created it? And he's like, nobody knows. And I'm like, that doesn't bode well. And he's like, it's decentralized, it's digital, it can't be traced, it's partly anonymous or pseudonymous. And so, and the government can't inflate it. So I was like, oh, well, that's interesting because the recession, the 2008 banking crisis really affected me. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit. And so I asked him to tell me more, and he told me more. And then he hit me. He said, how do you get these? Because I was like, how do you get some? He's like, you have to mine them. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? He said, I'm going to make a mining machine. I'm going to make a mining computer. Do you want to split one with me? You put in 500, I'll put in 500, and we'll make one of these mining machines and we can get our own Bitcoin. I was like, okay, and it was kind of earlier in our career. My wife was still a doctoral student in her internship for psychology. And I was early in my career. I just started being a PM. So it's not like we had a lot of money around. We didn't. And so that was kind of a lot of money at that time. And so I brought it back to my wife, and I was trying to sell her on it, but I wasn't fully sold on it. And she could tell. And she's just like, you're going to say no, aren't you? Right? And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to say no. And so I called him back, and I was excited. I was like, look, man, this sounds interesting. I definitely want to learn more, but I don't think I can do that at this time. And I'm really interested. What was interesting about that is he was saying how with this mining computer that we could make, he was going to use a graphics card in the mining computer. And so a lot of computers have these graphics cards to play video games. But in this case, these graphics cards were going to be dedicated to mine Bitcoin. Initially, the first developers like Satoshi in 2009, even earlier, 2008, 2000, up to 2010, they used the computer's CPU, which is like the brain, because it was easier to mine with them. There weren't a lot of people mining this Bitcoin.